We have all these expectations of how life is going to go. We have a concept of how our day is going to start, how it's going to end up, what we're going to do in the middle. And yesterday, my day and week got massively disrupted because my mom, who is recently become a type 2 diabetic, she fainted at the doctor's office and had to go to the emergency room. And my wife and I had to kind of pack really quickly and cancel everything we were doing and hop in the car and drive from Texas to Oklahoma to see what was going on and help her out. And that's okay. You know, it was this big change. It was this massive disruption. And it's okay to say, okay, this disrupted my life. But how do you roll with it? How do you accept it? How do you find peace with it? And that's what we're going to talk about today. Why is flexibility important? Why is being able to adapt important? It's because life is always changing. I don't believe in absolutes, and change actually might be the only universal absolute that exists. And if the universe is always in motion and changing, then we have to be changing with the universe and in motion with the universe. It's about being in rhythm with the world around us. And your willingness to change is greatly going to impact how easily you navigate this path that you're walking through the world. And flexibility helps build your resilience. It enables you to bounce back from challenges and setbacks. It's about being adaptable in the face of change and reducing the likelihood of experiencing this overwhelming stress. Flexibility allows for experiencing new things, and you never know what you might love if you don't experience it. So if you don't go out there and experience change and adapt with the world, you might never find something that you never even knew that you really loved. And that's a kind of this beautiful thing about going out and experiencing the world and kind of rolling with things as they happen. And when you adapt, it leads to this greater tolerance and understanding where you can relate better with people around you, because flexibility is key in relationships. When you're communicating, looking at compromise, mutual understanding, if you're open to change and you're adapting, suddenly you're having this more open relationship with other people. It leads to a more positive outlook because you're ready for whatever happens. And so if you're ready for whatever happens, you're not going to be dreading things or thinking, oh man, what's going to happen next? Or man, this can't get any worse. Sometimes it can get worse. And so don't ever say that. But be ready for it. You know, be ready for things to change, not always for what you might think is better, but just experience it and think, this is worse in my mind, but how do I accept it and move forward with it? And that's a flexible mindset that allows for more informed decision-making on your part. If you're more adaptive and flexible, you're going to make better decisions. And if you're flexible, then you're going to have a greater sense of control over your life because you're not going to suddenly be always impacted by things that are happening to you that you're always just experiencing. You're going to be grounded as they're coming to you. You're going to be more ready for them, even if you don't know what they are, and you often won't. In fact, usually you won't know it's going to happen. Personally, I was a counterintelligence special agent, and I supported operations and intelligence in the realm of asymmetric warfare. Things were always in motion. They were very fluid. I had to adapt every single day to different things, and often multiple times throughout the day. And when I was on Kandahar Airfield in Afghanistan, I used to tell people, and we used to tell people, we're your first phone call. You've got to call us, because we knew that if people would call us immediately when they had a problem, we could help fix it because we were problem solvers. It's what we did. And we're prepared for almost anything because we never knew what was going to happen. We were expecting the unexpected. And even in the military, our unit was more prepared for unique experiences and change than even other units. It's part of what we did. And we weren't set in our ways, and we were prepared to receive and handle these requests for help because we were open to being able to do things in different ways. And we got things done. And you can also embrace this mindset and choose to apply it in different aspects of your life. You can apply it in your job or at your work. You can do it at home and anywhere else in relationships. And think about strategies where you can develop flexibility. How do you learn to limit reacting to things? How you react to something sets the tone for how you're going to handle it. So when you hear something or get information about something, and you can see that it's going to possibly be bad news or unexpected news or just tough to deal with in general, you can choose to remain calm and consider your options and how to respond and move forward. The whole idea of stopping and counting to 10 and that whole meme, it's a meme for a reason. It's cliche for a reason. It's because it works. If you stop, you don't react, and you think, what am I going to do here? How am I going to respond to this? Then it works. And now, hopefully, now that we're talking about this, you have more context for why that's helpful. And usually when something happens, we can't make it not happen. We can't go back and say, I want to unring that bell. That bell's already rung. That sound's already happened. So moving beyond controlling our reaction to it, what can we do other than that? We can look at acceptance. Acceptance is like this huge thing in our lives that can be our best friend. When something happens, we have to accept that it's happened and then move on from that point. If we don't start with acceptance, we're just setting ourselves up for this jumbled up mind that has all this noise in it because we haven't accepted what happened. We want to go back and say, oh man, I wish that hadn't happened. It's okay to say, I wish that hadn't happened. But if we keep saying it and we dwell on it, it really clogs up our ability to process the situation and to move forward away from it. And in the same vein as reactivity and acceptance, there's this idea of staying calm. If you stay calm, good things happen to you and those around you. Sometimes when I was in Iraq, I was in a unit where a ton of things would happen at once. It was very chaotic. It was a really big military unit, and maybe a general was coming for a brief. Special agents were running around doing stuff out in the green zone, or there was all this stuff that was taking our attention. And then maybe a computer wouldn't work, or we couldn't get information from ourselves to a person that needed it and needed to act on that information. And like we normally would because something was broken. And in all these moments, I remained calm, and I found a way to get it done, to accomplish the mission. And I had this young woman from the Defense Intelligence Agency who I was responsible for. She worked in my section, and she used to ask me, she's like, how do you stay calm when things are falling apart all around you and it's all happening at one time? Because sometimes, we get to those moments in life where everything that can go wrong does go wrong, and it happens all at once. I told her that I've kind of always been able to do that. I've been able to remain calm even if there was kind of chaos happening around me. And I think that's helped me accept and deal with change. And you can teach yourself this, even if you don't have that innate ability to remain calm. Maybe you're not that type of person. I think one of the things you have to tell yourself, that's okay. It's okay that I'm not this like organically calm person that can automatically accept change, but I'm going to teach myself to do that. And that's what personal growth, personal development is all about. There's tons of stuff I'm not good at that other people are great at. And I try to learn from them, take that, and I hopefully make my life better in the process. And that makes me happier, makes me healthier, and everything's just better. Before we move on, please hit the watermark in the lower right-hand corner of this video. And if you think it's great and other people might benefit from it, please share it out with them so that they can, find their own way. Think about a situation where there was a sudden change or an unexpected change in your life. And think of that situation that you didn't handle very well, and actually write down some notes about what happened. Ask yourself, how would it have gone differently if you'd approached it differently? What would it have looked like if you hadn't instantly reacted to this, or if you hadn't reacted to it poorly? What would it have looked like if you had accepted what had happened when it happened? We're very close to the point when it happened. What happens if you had had that acceptance? What would it have looked like if you'd remained calm? What can you do to remind yourself to handle situations or change for the better? There's different ways to remind yourself of things. I carry mala beads around with me. Some call them prayer beads or meditation beads. And I do that just because in doing so, it helps me be more aware and intentional in how I live my life. And that's not going to work for everybody. But think about what will work for you. What actually will remind you to kind of stop, slow things down, and not react immediately, accept what's happening, and then kind of have that sense of calm about you. Think about how you can remind yourself of that and make that a muscle memory thing that happens when change happens around you that you weren't expecting or unexpected things occur. And I'd encourage you all to share experiences with change and sudden change and unexpected change, and how do you handle that? Let me know in the comments. And I'm talking about both good and bad, how you handle it in a good way, how you handle it in a bad way, what has worked for you to handle things better, what gets in your way and makes it harder to handle things. I think we should embrace that humans are kind of messy. We're all kind of messy. I'm messy. I'm not always put together and know what I'm doing, and that's okay. It's better when we talk about it. It's better when we have a discussion about it. And that's one reason this channel exists, is to try to get people to have those conversations. From a larger picture or perspective, look at how we're prepared to change in a general sense. Are we ready to embrace this universal motion we're talking about? Is there a larger acceptance that things are coming that we can't control, things that we can't anticipate, that life's going to unfold exactly how the universe intends it to and not how we want it to? So are we prepared for these things to occur that we know are going to happen and aren't going to be in line with what we expected or what we wanted or even what we needed? And that's when we have to look at, we can't spend our life planning. We have to spend our life living. We got to live our lives instead of just always planning our lives. And that's what we have to do in order to kind of live life to the fullest. If we can go out there and live our lives, even if we never get to that destination that we think we have to get to or we think we want to get to, are we enjoying the journey along the way? There's that cliche of the journey being the destination. And I think it's cliche for a reason. It's so true, because if you're living the journey, you're living life, you're enjoying life. So go out there and live the journey, my friends. Like, go out there and make it happen. For a peaceful and open-minded community where people can be themselves, share their journeys with one another, visit keyshar.org. And if you want us to keep making content just like this, please like this video. And until next time, I wish you peace on your journey.